Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz for another video, and this video is featuring a new Tier 8 Japanese premium battleship, the Key. So the Key has arrived in my mailbox, so I thought I'd get a review out there for those of you who are interested in getting it when it comes up on however it comes up on sale or through a victory, some sort of victory blitz. So the Key is basically an Amagi. So in a lot of ways it's very similar to the Amagi in a lot of performance characteristics. However, it has a lot more hit points, 9,000 more hit points to be precise. Its guns are a little bit more powerful. Its guns take longer to load but fire further. So here the captain of that carrier has suddenly noticed that there's a battleship out there, so he's going to give it a go. And I'm about to wear some torpedoes. I'm glad it's not a cargo. And here he comes in. I turn away to try and see if we can avoid as many as possible. And we collect 6 of them, which isn't great. Now, interestingly enough, the battleship captain did not come back. I mean, the aircraft carrier captain did not send his planes back, and I didn't really understand until after the game when I looked up the stats. So the AA on this is actually very, very good indeed. So it's an Amagi with longer firing guns, more hit points, and AA. Better AA, much better AA. So 340 large AA, 309 small AA, and that is substantially more than the Amagi at 227 and 224. So we're going to try and citadel this Nelson. Now the other thing I think you'll notice is that it has torpedoes. And these are nice torpedoes. They reload in 54 seconds. But more importantly, they go 8.4 kilometres and do 3,400 damage. So they're good, solid Japanese torpedoes. So what I'm doing here is, I don't like that Nelson. I'm going to reload, let my maybe go after that Atlanta. Well, he's gone out. He's rather wisely gone out of sight. And I'm going to take this Nelson sort of more head on. Try and get some citadels in where he can only get me with his front 2 guns. He's obviously got me spotted because that destroyer is coming around the side. And I'm heading out of the cap, which is never a good thing. So I've helped support these destroyers into the cap. I'd better stay in there and tank my damage. And yeah, so I have set this up with turret traverse rather than dispersion. His guns are facing the wrong way, which is nice. That just gives a bit of delay before he opens fire on me. I fire just as my precise aiming comes back on steam. It is a very slow to turn ship. Its turning performance is a little bit worse than the Amagi, especially that rudder shift. Yeah, so it's a Nelson, so I'm on fire. However, it's also a Nelson, so he's going to take a lot of damage from, yeah, he's going to not like that very much at all. And he might set me on fire. Oh, he's firing at my destroyer friends. So that's, yeah, he's got a lot of torpedoes coming in. So unfortunately mine miss, but that destroyer, well, not so much. Well, here we go. And we, yeah, basically get the kill on the destroyer. I didn't realise that at the time. I was too busy trying to angle down those torpedoes. Collected 4 out of 8. I'm on fire, and things aren't looking too good. And there's an Atlanta out here. Now that Atlanta is going to learn something about, yeah, that's a pretty reasonable way of telling him to get out of dodge, is to start hitting him with the secondaries. So it has great range on the secondaries. He won't be able to fire his torpedoes at me because the island will shield me. And here we have a Colorado. Well, those are maybe his torpedoes, but they probably don't have the range, because it does have a good 28 knot speed, this ship. There we go, we'll fire our torpedoes. He's turning away, which is a bit unfortunate, but I didn't really have much angle. And we'll line up the shot. So he's heading in towards us. We'll be able to fire into his deck and hopefully get some more citadels. There he goes. Yep. And he's going to hit back at me. That's going to hurt. Fortunately, I have my last heal. He set me on fire. And, yeah, well, any more fires and that's all over. But with 3 seconds to remain, right in the deck. And here we go. Smash him in. Citadel, take him out. He gets a final blast against me, but no fires. So, yeah, 53 seconds remaining. I've tanked my damage. I've held my cap. So I think I've done my duty for the team. My torpedoes are back, which is really good to hear. Good to see. And yeah, so it doesn't quite have the same number of secondaries as the Amagi. So the Amagi has it has 16 times 1. This has 8 times 140mm, but it does the same damage. So it has twice the potential damage output from the secondaries. But obviously, having those torpedoes, well, those are the best secondaries of all. And here's a carrier who happens to be stuck in the final 10 seconds of the game, and my guns are fully loaded, and well, that was really unfortunate. And this is Z39. Well, yeah, if the game was another minute longer, I'd have a real problem, but it's not another minute longer, so there you go. Successful first outing in the key. So right, let's go have a look at some battle screens and see how we performed. We didn't get a big caliber, so yeah, okay then. Now, if there'd been something other than a Nelson, if that Colorado had been their first up, or maybe a Bismarck, I think this game would have turned out a little bit differently, because it is an Amagi and it has got an Amagi's armour. So I was hurting pretty badly, and I was taking a lot of incoming though, so to be fair, you do attract a lot of fire. So 47 hits, 25 secondary battery hits, didn't get into the really close range, 2 hits to Citadel, 4 aircraft destroyed out of that first outing. And that's the ship. So so I did the comparison, and I've been talking through with the Amagi, and you'll be able to see the stats scroll up. So feel free to pause the video as I run through it. But basically, slightly longer range, longer loading, main batteries. It has the automated secondary batteries, which I didn't use, and it's not a brawler. Those torpedoes are a nice touch, but as you can see, very tight aiming arcs, so very good against battleships. Fantastic AA when we scroll down that far. You know, over 100 better than the Amagi. And actually, I did a comparison with the Izumo. So it fares unfavourably with the Izumo on hit points. And so the Izumo has 52k rather than 49.7k. However, and the Amagi has much better torpedo reduction at 21% versus virtually 16% on this ship. But this has better turret traverse. It has more guns, even though the Izumo does slightly more damage. This has 10 instead of 9, and they're much easier to manage. And it has better secondaries, not doing as much damage and not the same fire chance, 4% versus 5%. But they fire every 7.5 seconds rather than every 9 seconds, and the automated secondaries are streets ahead of the Izumo. And the AA for the Izumo is basically just slightly improved over the Amagi. So, to be fair, I think this ship, if I could take this into tier 9s instead of my Izumo, I would probably do so. And as you can see, its secondaries are nicely mounted on the side where they're useful, rather than on the back where you've got a front half that's good against battleships and a back half that's good against everything else, like the Izumo. And it really does look like the Amagi. You can see the layout, the 3 turrets on the rear, the 2 turrets on the front, the long ship with the that pagoda sort of, you know, up front, right stacked in behind those front turrets. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.